Well, you now have just 10 days to file your 2022 taxes on time or file an extension request. There is local tax prep available that's free to those who qualify. And to learn more about these free services is Ryan McFerrin from the United Way of King County. He is the program manager for tax credits and financial stability. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So could you start off by telling us what are some of the benefits for folks who might head out to a free tax prep site?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two main benefits to visiting one of our free tax preparation sites. The first is it's an opportunity to avoid the high and rising costs associated with working with a professional tax preparer or using a self-filed software like TurboTax. Even though Washington doesn't have a state tax return, we're actually one of the most expensive states in the country to file your federal taxes. And so it costs a lot of money for people to kind of do their annual requirement. And so it's an opportunity for individuals and families to overcome the cost to file their taxes. The second main benefit, and I'd say this is the bigger one, is the opportunity to access important tax credits. Most people think of taxes as a way to kind of settle the bill with the government. They either get a little bit of money back if they paid too much in taxes over the previous year, or they get a little bit of money, or they end up owing a little bit. But for individuals and families who are low and moderate income, it's actually an opportunity to get some extra cash during the year through tax credits like the earned income tax credit or the child care tax credit, the child tax credit. Actually, these are kind of some of the best anti-poverty tools available to Americans. And by visiting one of our free tax preparation sites, people can make sure that they're claiming all of those tax credits for which they're eligible for.
All right, so you mentioned tax credits, and I know when people hear that, their ears kind of perk up for that. The working families tax credit, could you tell us a little bit about that in case people are unfamiliar or they're just starting to realize maybe I should be applying for that?
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So the working families tax credit is a tax credit, but with a twist. So this is Washington's first state tax credit that is available to individuals and families. So because we don't have a state tax return, it's more of a form of direct cash that people can apply for. Okay. However, there is a requirement that those people file their federal tax return as part of that application process or before they apply for it. So
okay, good to
it's
know.
Brand new this year. It just launched in February. It can put up to an additional $1,200 into people's pocket this year, which can be a great amount of money for people who need that money to cover rent, bills, put food on the table, people who could really benefit from it. It's also available to people who are typically not eligible to receive federal tax credits, like undocumented peoples and mixed status families. The one thing to note, though, is that it does have currently an expiration date, Washingtonians, and to be eligible, you have to have lived in Washington for over half the year in 2022. But people do need to apply for that credit before the end of the year, which is unlike federal tax credits, where people typically have a few years to apply and receive them.
Okay, and we're mentioning to people that April 18th deadline is coming up soon, so they need to get everything in place before then or file for that extension. So for more information from the United Way, you can check out uwkc.org. That website is on your screen right now. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.